What is happening, everybody? My name is Julius, and I'm here once again for another chapter, a New Year's chapter, and to ignore this podcast. This is not the usual setup that we have. I like to do the podcasts in person, the person and person vibe. In person is always preferred because of the better mic quality and the better chemistry you get on a podcast. But we'll get into why it's this way. But I'm glad to have a very special guest that I've been meaning to have on this podcast for a good amount of time, actually. It's a new addition. I've done some recording with him in the past before. It is Mr. David. How are you doing, David?
What's up, Julius?
Hey,
I'm
man.
good. How are you, bro?
Well, could be better, but not at my worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. You know, nobody likes getting COVID.
Oh man. Yeah, that's right. No one likes it. Before we get into all that, um, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
How
It's
was your New
crazy,
Year's?
2023. It was really good, man. It was awesome. I was with family. Um, I I did a lot of things that I didn't think I would be doing.
Oh man.
Um, I hung out with my girlfriend, not the day of, but like a couple days before.
Hmm.
And that was that was great, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause yeah, how was your
Was
New
it?
Year's?
Well, it was okay up until a certain point. Uh,
Yeah.
but it was cool. I hung out with a buddy of mine, Andrew, and his family. This is that good old Mexican New Year's Eve in the little squatted place and everything. Everyone's sitting around the
Hmm.
table, watching New Year's Eve Telemundo and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
All
feel it.
Fast and the Furious was on, but it was in Spanish, so that was pretty dope.
Oh yeah. Was his grandma there? Was that his grandma?
Say it again.
His grandma? Because they're like Puerto Rican, right? Or Cuban?
I don't know. Who? No, Andrew, I think is Mexican. I
Oh
don't think.
wait, sorry. No, I thought we were talking about what's that guy's name?
Oh, Sebastian.
Brian. I
Oh,
thought we were talking about
Brian.
Brian for
Oh,
a sec.
Brian.
I was like, because I remember we went to Brian's and
Yeah,
yeah, his grandma was there and she was talking about Puerto Rico that day.
yeah, that's
That
right.
was like
That's
two
right.
years ago, man. That's
Well,
crazy.
well, speaking of New Year's Eve and yourself, I remember this is kind of ridiculous, and I think it's the reason why things are the way they are now. Okay,
Mhm.
can I tell you what this is?
Yeah.
So it was 2019 turning to 2020, and it was a New
Mhm.
Year's Eve where it was me.
Ah, no.
It was
Okay,
me.
continue.
It was me, Justin, and yourself, and we were
Yeah.
hanging out at his place in Duarte at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were just kind of chilling out because we started some other places, and we were taking photos of each other and everything. And then we
Mhm.
eventually made it to his place, and
Yeah.
we started. We didn't really drink or anything, but we were just chilling in his area, and we
Yeah.
had a couple of drinks, and
Hmm.
right as you were trying to be like Nostradamus, I think, in
Yeah.
predicting.
Yeah.
You were trying to
Yeah,
predict
I
how the
remember
20s, our version of the 20s would be, uh, with
that.
starting with 2020. And
Yeah, oh my God.
you were like, first, I think the first thing you said was, uh, and this isn't just you making stuff up. You had reasons to believe this because you heard these from other places, but you heard about the economic growth that was predicted to happen um,
Yep.
in the 20s. It was supposed to be kind of a new, uh, uh, what's the word? A new growth in the economy.
Something like a Roaring Twenties type shit. I don't know
Yes.
why or where I heard that, but I kept saying that shit.
I know.
Yeah. And I now I come to think about it, I was like, what the fuck you delusional as fuck.
I was excited when I heard that because I was like, oh shoot, we're gonna make some money. And then
Yeah.
and then you followed it with, man, 2020, it's gonna be the best year of all, the best year of all, yeah. And I was I
Famous
was with
last
you on that.
words.
I know, right? I was with you until, the pandemic really started happening. And
Yeah.
here we are, 3 years later, which is
3 years
crazy.
later. Yeah.
Um, and things are, I think, better than how they were starting in early 2020. Do you think so? What do you think about that?
For me, no.
No?
No. No. I mean, financially could be way better. Um, but I mean, I think a lot of people can agree that the economy is like, yeah, it's a bit better, but like, it's
Hmm.
not like it didn't boom as I predicted it to be. It didn't go boom. It might have sunk in some
Yeah,
ways. I'm no financial expert,
or commentator.
commentator, or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a very bold prediction on my part, and I apologize. Um, but I mean, for me personally, like
It got a
I've
little
done a
better.
lot of growth.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of growth. I mean, mentally, I'm not in the same place I was at in 2020,
Yeah.
and in that year, like I did a lot of growth that year too. I remember, but it just kind of went downhill with COVID and with everything that happened, and that I've done a lot to like climb back up that mountain,
Hmm.
you know, to get back to where I want to be. And I'm still not where I want to be, but I don't think I'll ever be where I want to be. You understand me?
Where is that where you want to be?
Well, not to sound like a pretentious douchebag, but
Uh-oh.
you know Andrew McConaughey, I think his name is,
Matthew
or
McConaughey.
something. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he's like, I think it's him where he's like, where, you know who my hero is?
Oh yeah, me.
Me in 10 years. And then 10 years later, they're like, are you here now? Like, no.
No, man, I'm not my hero yet.
Me in 10 years. Ask me in 10 years. And and the secret to that answer is he's never gonna be his hero because he's always trying to grow. He's always trying to be the best version of himself. But you can't ever reach that version because once you reach it, you're gonna start going down
Hmm.
until you keep working. It always goes down. In my point of view, it
Right.
always goes down in my experience. So I'm a valuable person. I'm a good person, but personal growth requires growth.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand on it.
I could totally see you as the guy who listens to the Matthew McConaughey speeches. Because I've listened to a lot of those as well, man. It takes one to know one, he's a very
Yeah,
interesting guy to listen to, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't I've listened to plenty, I'll be honest, because of the pandemic, got me listening to a whole bunch of motivational speeches and all that type of shit
Oh
because
yeah.
you know um I think you take the advice but not all the time, I'm sorry, you take the advice but you don't always put complete stock in the person who's giving the advice, you know what I mean? Because I think there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people in that world who
Just
say
want to
the
make
right
like
things.
profit of you.
Yeah, but there's a lot of more shady shit around that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get
Yeah.
into that whole grind set mentality and everything, and that whole culture is a
Yeah.
whole web, you know.
It is.
A big example, I think, is your boy, um, Andrew Tate.
Ah, that's not my boy, bro. That is not my boy. That is like, no. Do
No.
never say that. That is not my boy. No,
Well,
man. Fucking no, I mean like okay.
you
I
see how
used to
he can
get
like be associated with that culture, you know?
yes, yes. And like I used to like not I never knew about Energy until like last year,
Yeah.
like May or something. And my friend was like, "Yeah, you heard of Andrew Tate? Blah blah blah. He's like bringing back masculinity." And I'm like, "Who?" And then I look him up, and I hear all this shit he's saying about women,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, nah, I can't listen to a guy that says this type of shit about women. That's how he feels about women. I like it's disgusting, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I had to tell my friend, I was like, dude, that's misogynist right there. Like
Yeah.
that's pure misogyny, what you're listening to. And you gotta step up, bro. And
Yeah.
he's like, what do you mean, bro? He's just bringing back masculinity, bro. I want to be masculine. I'm like, the only reason, I won't mention who he is, but
Yeah.
the
No,
only
don't do
reason,
that.
yeah, the only reason he feels this way is because he's being targeted. He's a target audience because guess what, my friend, he 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 like he had a lot of problems, like at home when he was young and he didn't have a dad like
Hmm.
absolutely there. And that's precisely the type of person that Andrew Tate is looking for.
Yeah.
Someone that is eager to find a male role model,
Yeah.
uh, almost a father figure to look up to say like, oh, this is someone that's gonna take me to the promised land.
Yeah.
And the promised land is a bunch of bullshit.
Well,
It
I
doesn't
think,
exist.
yeah. Well, I think a big part of it is the the target is someone with low self-esteem, and
Yes.
you go to those inspiring speeches, not you, I mean just in
Yeah.
general, like the royal you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
uh evil David, uh
Evil
go-
David.
goes, let's say, goes to those speeches because they
Yeah.
want to build themselves up. And I think it's easy for someone like Tate to slide into that market where
Yeah.
it's easy
Yeah.
pickings to
It's
pick
easy
people up
pickings, man.
and to warp their mind
Yeah.
and everything, man. And now you see what happened with Tate. uh,
I
you
mean,
know,
he's in jail for
he's in
sexual
jail
trafficking or
over
sex
the
trafficking or whatever.
yeah, sex trafficking charges, and all you know how it happened, right?
Over a pizza box. Oh, but Greta, what's her last name?
Gerwig,
Number? I don't
is it
know.
Gerwig? I think it's Gerwig. It's the
Something like
environmentalist.
that. Yeah, the environmentalist, like G, like like I respect her.
Hmm.
Um, she she was she was saying some shit to Andrew Tate. I even saw the tweet, and Andrew Tate like responded. No, no, no. It was Andrew Tate who called out
Called out what
Greta.
she was saying because she was talking about, I think it was recycling, and then in
Yeah,
his video, which might as well have been like a super villain's like manifesto and shit, you know,
yeah,
like he's saying he brings in the pizza boxes because he's like, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm not gonna recycle these, brother. I'm not gonna recycle the like what the. But then it was a Romanian pizza joint chain,
yeah,
and
yeah. So
that's
he
why the
wasn't
police are
hiding in
like,
Romania.
yeah, the
Like,
police are like, bro, we got you. So
we
stupid.
found you, bitch.
we like now we
Fuck
have
you. Fuck
evidence
that
that
guy. Not
you're
fuck
here.
you, but like fuck that
Right, right. No, yeah.
guy.
But no, that's crazy. I think it's unfortunate when that whole idea of like bettering yourself and um using time of isolation to make positive changes becomes perverse in that way, in the way that people like Tate and Tate's the most popular example right now, how they warp that, you know what I mean? That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It definitely feels like that perspective of self-help, self-growth became militarized,
Yes.
almost militarized by Andrew Tate, and it's like not just Andrew Tate, bro. Like,
No, yeah. This goes like way before Tate, you know what I mean? This is something that's kind of been the case
yeah,
forever. Do you think that,
yeah,
and we're not what's the term? We're not sociologists. Is that is that even a thing? Like uh
sociologist.
yes, sociologists, thank you.
Yeah.
Um we're not like experts on this, but
Oh
I feel
no,
no, not
we're
at
allowed
all.
to have a take though,
Yeah, absolutely.
an
But
opinion.
absolutely. My question regarding this is, do you think that every generation in descending order of men is criticized for being less masculine than the previous?
Whoa, that's a good question, man. Because I mean, my dad, he doesn't criticize me at all.
Right.
He's just like, um, but it's interesting because there's many times where I've seen like on TikTok or something, like older men criticizing younger men, like older like boomers or Gen X or whatever,
Hmm.
criticizing like Gen Z people. He's like, I don't do that bullshit. It's I won't even say it because it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But I don't do that. That's Gen Z crap. Like, and it's just like it's a complex topic, bro. Because
Yeah.
it's like you get into masculinity, and you're essentially like you have to say like, okay, like what is masculinity
Hmm.
in its purest form? To me and to many people, masculinity means protection, right? You protect the people you love, but it doesn't just go into protection.
Hmm.
I was actually listening to a podcast the other day, that my sister sent me. I actually want to name that podcast because
Yeah, no, absolutely.
it's actually a great freaking podcast. It's called what is it? The Man Enough podcast.
The Man Enough podcast.
Yeah, and I was listening to it, and they were like talking a lot about like, are you man enough to care?
Hmm.
Like, okay, like there's a lot of masculinity or people that claim to be masculine, but they say they don't care. They don't care about their wives. They don't care about their children. They're just like, yeah, masculinity is like going out with the boys and drinking beer and like eating a bunch of steaks and like being ripped and shit. That's me peak masculine, bro. And it's
Isn't
like
there a guy like that called the Liver King?
something like that. I don't follow the Liver King, but I've heard of
Neither
him.
do I. I just heard of. I heard he
Yeah.
came out as like a fraud recently.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that too. But then there's like what I consider to be actual masculinity,
Hmm.
where I've seen those traits in my dad. I've seen those traits in a lot of the men I surround myself with have these traits. Like, and they're definitely like older. So like my dad, he had this trait where it's like he cares, bro.
Hmm.
He actually cares. Like, he doesn't want me to like just go out and do whatever, and like he's like, you know what, David, like I care about you, so I want to protect you from the things that you could possibly do.
Right.
And of course, my dad is not a he's not an angel, but he in this sense he's protected me from things that I didn't even realize.
Hmm.
And I won't get into that because that's a whole
No,
nother
yeah.
topic. But then there's like man that like sensitivity, femininity,
Hmm.
and not feminine in the way that you don't have to like wear dresses or whatever. Like you can if you want to, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about feminine in the way that a mother nurtures you. You
Hmm.
feel me? Like
Hmm.
the way a mother cares about you. In that sense, like if we create like a polarity between masculinity and femininity, it kind of creates like a wall between the two.
Hmm.
So if it was like if we take like for example the yin and the yang, they're together, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like that circle
They
with the
work with
black
each
and the white.
other. Yeah.
They work with each other because
Right.
there is no masculinity without femininity, and there is no femininity without masculinity.
Yeah.
And that's what's so crazy that people are like, yeah, I'm super masculine. Bro, you're missing the biggest part about being masculine,
Hmm.
is that you have to care. You kind of have to be feminine. Not that like not in the sense that like I said you have to like paint your nails or whatever. I mean, I
No,
paint
yeah.
my nails, I don't care. But in the sense that you care about people, you're kind to
Yeah.
people. You want to see people grow, especially your kids, your family. Like it is something that it was instilled in me, like
Hmm.
by my dad, by my sister, by a lot of the people I grew up with.
Hmm.
Some people didn't have this, but some people did, and that's who I related to the most. So yeah.
Yeah. Like the big part of the caring aspect of that is also the vulnerability. Being
Yes.
vulnerable is very important and
Hmm.
also frightening. I found that
Yeah.
um, in the
Yeah.
past for sure, and it's like you notice it as that worry becomes greater. It almost feels like a block in your physical system. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it makes you sick at sometimes. It's funny. I was gonna bring this up, and I'm still gonna bring it up. But so the reason we're not doing this in person, or the reason David's not over at my place to record this with me is because for New Year's Eve, oh, you can hear it. um, I tested positive for COVID, the Rona, and
Rona.
I thought at first when I was super sick, I was wondering if it had to do with the emotional state that I was in at the time of the end of the new year or of the previous
Hmm.
year, I guess. And I started looking up if you can get sick based on your emotional state, based on your depressive episodes and stuff. And they can contribute to sickness, but it turned out that this was actually uh, COVID,
Yeah.
and it's interesting because it, it felt like I couldn't actually it almost took me being sick to actually say that to some person or some people, you know what I mean? Or to myself
Hmm.
to accept that, you know what I mean? And it's crazy just how much when you hold so much stuff in and it builds up, it turns into it turns into some like a sewage system that's built up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or backed up, I guess is the term.
Yeah. I actually have two things to say to that, man.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I actually remember reading something, like heartbreak, like real heartbreak,
Yeah.
like the one where you've been not to say the other types of heartbreaks are not real, but like this like where you found your soulmate, you found your person, you've been with them for years, and then they pass away.
Hmm.
kind of like I think Johnny Cash. I think he died of heartbreak or something. Like
Oh,
his
okay.
wife died, and then he like I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard
Yeah.
from my friends. So and not just him, like other people like have like their heart was broken, their partner was gone, and they just gave up. They're just like, no, I don't want
Yeah.
to live no more without my person, and that's sad, but I kind of can understand it. Like, heartbreak can really not kill you. I mean, maybe it can kill you, but it can really affect your emotional system and your central nervous system to the point where you are depressed, your body's depressed,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably more immune, not as immune to emotions, I mean, to sickness as if you were happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any studies for that, so take that with a grain of salt.
It's
But
it's a
that's what
theory,
I felt. That's what I felt before.
right?
Personally, I felt like that, and when I've been depressed and stuff like that, I have felt like, yeah, I might have gotten a bit sicker, or might have been like less less willing to do certain things, or certain sports like soccer. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. That's just a theory, a hypothesis. Gotta test
Dr.
out the
David.
hypothesis. Yes, sir. Anyways, I'm no doctor. Don't sue me. The second thing I wanted to say is actually related to I guess it's how do I say this without like how do I say this?
uh,
Okay, so
I'm
you
curious.
know the chakras?
Yes.
Okay, so when you were saying like, oh, like it feels like like garbage and like baggage is building up in like
Yeah.
your body. So actually, that made me think because I haven't like always like I don't really like meditate on my chakras or anything.
Uh-huh.
I just kind of I let them be. But I remember seeing the Avatar, The Last Airbender. Did you ever see that?
Yeah. Oh, I was just thinking about that now.
Yeah, and you know how he finds a spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't ever seen it, but come on, you gotta see it. Like it's been out for 20 years. Um, anyways, um, so he was like he goes to his guru and he's like, in order to reach the full avatar state,
Hmm.
you have to let go. And
Yeah.
he showed him everything that all the chakras that were built up. And he's like, if you have blockage in your energy sources, you will feel like shit. You will essentially not be at your fullest potential and essentially not be in like avatar state, because there's a blockage in your chi, in your
Hmm.
chakras. I don't know if chi and chakra work together, but yeah,
Well,
I don't
it's
know.
all about the body's energy flow and
Yes.
how and this if we get into spirituality, how the spirit
Mhm.
functions properly
Yeah.
and proactively within the body.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's I mean, personally, like I've had like blockages
Hmm.
in my chakras, and it took a lot of like personal dedication to like try to like clear them up. I don't even know if they're cleared up or not. I just sometimes I just feel like, oh, I feel at peace now.
Hmm.
Like, and at that moment I'm like, yeah, it's probably like cleared up, and like
Yeah.
those energy sources are free to flow. You feel me?
Yeah, maybe the ultimate clear up of your chakras and your energy is something kind of akin to what you brought up with McConaughey, where it's like you never reach the fullest. You know what I mean? You just keep striving. 10 years later, 10 years later, 10 years later, you're more cleared up. But are you ever completely a running river? you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, from what I've read, chakras are like they're energy sources in the body, right?
Yeah.
So I have this book, it's called the Chakra Book. It's like a fat purple book.
The cho
And
they really like to the
they
point
really
with
did
that
that. They
title.
really did that. Yeah. And there's energy sources in your body, and they flow a certain way. Like I think it's counterclockwise or clockwise or something.
Hmm.
Um, and it flows, and then when it stops flowing, it's like full of like emotional disconnect or whatever. So you really have to work on that. And there's physical illnesses related to the chakra you're dealing with. I don't have examples, um, but I've heard that like it's like certain like illnesses, like mental illnesses. I mean, I'm not gonna get into mental illness.
No, yeah.
But like certain illnesses, certain things, um, like even like heartbreak can like add to that. So I think it's just something to keep in mind, like, hey, do you feel okay? Like, are your emotional centers, your energy centers okay? Like, do you feel good?
Hmm.
And if you don't, then maybe it's time to walk in some grass, get off the computer, talking
I know.
talking to myself, talking to myself.
I had
Get
to
off the
do that
computer,
today,
touch
man.
grass.
Dude,
Yeah.
my back is killing me from the
Yeah.
amount of laying down and sleep I've gotten to rest, like to sleep this thing off. So
Yeah.
I had to, mask on and everything. I had to go outside and just take a little walk, because
Yeah.
my back is still kind of sore
Yeah.
from just
Yeah.
laying down so much, man. It doesn't feel good at all. Like today
Hmm.
was the first time in a couple days that I got a little bit of fresh air,
Yeah.
and it was so good.
It helps, right? It
Oh my God.
helps.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, it's funny that you bring up the whole energy because you brought up uh letting go. It's like signs of letting go. And it's crazy
Yeah.
you brought that up because I've been thinking about that a lot
Hmm.
these past couple of days being sick, with COVID, um
Yeah.
because as you know, it's been a pretty trying year for myself, or last year was very difficult um, for me. And
Yeah.
I wanted to bring some of this up in the last podcast I did with Brian, but we ended up talking about his stuff. Um,
Hmm.
but ever it seems crazy. It seems that ever since the old channel went down, you know,
Hmm.
things just started going down, down,
Yeah.
down, down that fucking hill. And like I was trying to keep strong with trying to make this new channel and keep in contact with Angel and everything. um but this was a really difficult time, and it got me angry and sad, and
Hmm.
I felt alone, and I felt so I kind of I felt a little resentful, a little bitter at times, because of what happened. I won't get into too many
Yeah.
details,
Hmm.
but being sick these past couple days, it it helped me a little bit in a weird way. It helped me kind of let go of that. You know, it's
Oh.
it's kind of I'm a little thankful that this happened for the new year because with New Year's resolutions and everything, it's tough to actually keep up and maintain as the new year
Hmm.
starts. But like when you
Yeah.
get sick and when you get the Rona,
Yeah.
um, it can kind of help put things into perspective in a very real way, you know?
Yeah. Not advising anybody to get Rona, by the way.
No, don't,
This particular this
no.
particular scenario.
Yes, this
Uh,
is my experience. I'm very fortunate
yeah,
to not have really dealt with the hardship of coronavirus.
yeah.
Um, but you know,
Mhm,
still, man, it's kind of crazy.
mhm.
You know, I still I'm wearing a mask now, a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, yeah. There was in 2021 actually. I I got COVID and I got COVID. Then I had surgery.
oh,
And I
dude, I
got,
remember this.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. It was actually insane.
yeah.
It
What did
was
you get surgery for?
insane. Appendix.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was insane because at that time my dad had COVID. He couldn't take me anywhere. I had to
Yeah.
Uber to the hospital. Um,
Oh my God, I remember that.
yeah, it was actually crazy. I don't want to hit anyone up because if I had COVID, I don't want to get anybody sick.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, like, I I didn't have COVID when I went to the hospital, thankfully, so I didn't get anybody sick. Um, but after that, I did have COVID. So after
Man.
the surgery, way after I got COVID. So around that time period, it was just insane. Like if we're talking about like getting hit in with a brick by the universe, like that's one of them. Just like boom.
They had a brick and they were aiming for your kneecaps, dude.
Yeah, honestly, took an air to the knee.
I forgot where we or what we were talking about. So
Yeah, honestly.
I'm just gonna repeat the worst advice I think I gave you when the pandemic started. Because you came up to me and you talked to me about how you were a little worried regarding COVID and everything. And I just said wisely, I just said, "Hey man, just tell yourself you're not gonna get it."
I think I told you that actually.
No, I don't know. I remember the automatic like this is gonna catch up to me. You know, like feeling of saying that. Um,
Yeah.
because it's so ridiculous. I mean, it worked a while for me at least.
So, because I remember when COVID first hit China,
Yeah.
I was like, I remember you called me worried.
Yes.
And you were like, dude, there's this virus, this pandemic thing, it might come to the United States. I'm nervous, we're not prepared for this. And I was like, Julius, it's over there, bro. Like, wisely, it's over there, bro. Don't trip. Like,
Uh-huh.
this is far away. I don't think it can come here, bro. Trust. Almost as if, almost as if China was in the other side of the galaxy type
I
shit.
know, right?
And then 2 months later, boom, lockdown. Boom, no more exercising. Boom, no more going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while I was going crazy, and I think that's my karma for telling you that.
You know, I don't think anyone can hold anything said pre 2020 against anyone because, you know, it literally whatever you said in 2019, let's say, literally turned
Yeah,
into the opposite the following years. Uh, you know, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty crazy. You know, I personally think, in terms of the pandemic, things have gotten better, mainly because we have access to vaccines and, you know, boosters and
Hmm.
everything. Um,
Yeah.
and as far as I've seen, the
Mm.
argument isn't as polarizing, you know, regarding vaccines. And because, you know, initially when that was a thing, people were either really against it or had their
Hmm.
conspiracies of it or anything. But now it's just a part of our day to day, you know. And I'm
Hmm.
very glad that we're both vaccinated because I remember when you got
Yeah.
COVID and I think it was near the end of 2021. I think it was in around
Hmm.
that time because wasn't it like Christmas time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you, and I remember being thankful that you had the vaccine, because it could have been so much worse. And it was so much
Yeah.
worse for so many other people.
Oh yeah. It was insane for a lot of people, and I know some people whose family members directly passed away. So
Hmm.
it's definitely not. It was it's terrible, man. And the thing is, for me, when I got it, I was like thankfully vaccinated. Like you
Yeah.
said, like I was vaccinated, and I was like, oh fucking God. Like, and even then, I still like for a while I was coughing, and I was still coughing, and I was coughing for until like February, and I was at work, and I was just like coughing, and I was like, what the fuck? And they weren't gonna pay me for coughing, like you good?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. It's not the COVID, it's the it's the carbonation from this ginger ale.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh shit.
It's the other C.
Um, the other C, yes sir. But yeah, man, that trip to Mexico, because I went to Mexico that year
That's
in
right, yeah.
Tijuana. That trip to Mexico was just, it was cursed, bro. Everything just came crashing down on us after we got COVID.
Hmm.
Like everyone got COVID pretty much. Everyone got COVID.
Jesus.
Except
Wow.
my dad. My dad was a smart one. He was like, I'm staying home, bro.
I'm
I'm
not
not going
going.
to that shit.
Screw that.
I'm not going to that shit. Um, yeah. But I was like, I want to meet my family, like I want to meet people.
Hmm.
I want to, I want to make connections. That was my main thing. I want to make connections and show off my new jacket. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, so I did that, and I made connections for sure. But I get too fat, so
Oh,
I
come
can't wear
on,
the
man.
jacket no more.
Come on now.
No,
You
I'm
What do you mean you
serious.
can't wear the jacket anymore?
Because it doesn't close anymore. And I was
That's
like,
only
oh,
that has to be because it's like small in like another country or large in another country.
probably. It's actually the same jacket Justin has, just in a large.
Which one is that?
The the orange and green one.
Oh, that's a nice one.
It's so nice,
Yeah,
dude.
that's a nice one.
So when that one went out of stock, I was like, fuck, I was gonna exchange it, but didn't have the stock that I wanted. So I was like, ugh. Anyways, I I got some other jackets now, so
If
but
anything
yeah.
can be said about you is you have a very specific taste in what you wear. You know what I mean? Like as long as I've known you, well, not as long as because I've known you a long time, but um,
Yeah.
I guess in our earlier adult lives, college
Hmm.
David, let's say,
Yeah.
college David has taken a lot of pride in what he goes out and
I think that is true. That is true. And it's especially true now.
uh,
Because now I just kind of I don't just wear whatever.
uh,
I wear not that I wear designer or anything like that. I just wear things that actually make me feel good, make
uh,
me look good, and like sometimes I paint my nails or wear my rings or whatever. I'm just like, it feels nice. It feels comfortable to feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, yeah, man.
You're like a
Um,
Mexican Doctor Who, even though you're Colombian, but you get what I mean.
I actually never seen Doctor Who,
Oh my
so I
God.
don't understand that reference.
Hey man, I'll send you some pictures later. Don't worry.
But
You'll
but
see.
that sounds good.
You'll,
Sounds
you'll see.
good.
Well, now that you're like with your girlfriend and everything, do you ever try to like when you go out, do you try to outdress her?
It's funny you say that because I told her like I was like, babe, like we gotta, we gotta dress, we gotta kill it, we gotta turn necks, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, yeah, I'm down. Let's turn necks, fool. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So like, it's like she wanted to get this it's almost like a trench coat but like for women,
Hmm.
and it's like skin color, like khaki or something,
Okay.
and not skin color. What the fuck? It was khaki. She wanted to get it, and I was
It
like,
was like a tan kind of deal.
yeah, kind of
Hmm.
tan, and I was like, she would look great in that. Um, but like, she wore some other jacket, and she looked nice, dude. And I was like, yeah, she looked
You're
nice.
like, yeah,
Uh, and I
vote
wore
for
my
me.
leather jacket, so it really
Was
feels
this on a
nice to.
date?
Yeah, we went to Little Tokyo
Oh, okay, okay.
for. Yeah, I mean, sort of a date, sort of a friend thing.
This was in the
More of a
early
friend thing.
early days of getting together.
No, this is actually like a couple days ago.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, no, this was a couple days ago, and we, yeah, oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. What was I talking about?
I don't know. You're talking about how
Uh,
you styling.
yeah, how we were styling. Yeah, we were styling heavy, and my friend Aubrey was like, "Hey, yo, you guys look good," and I was like, "That's what I came here for.
You're
Now we can
goddamn
leave."
right. Don't you forget it.
Don't you forget it. We look good.
I'm
No,
curious,
but
is the area you guys go to, does that influence what you wear? Because Little Tokyo
oh
is
yeah,
very much like um a, I like a happening place, you know? You see all sorts
yeah.
of wares and wears and tears over there.
I mean, yes, I could have easily worn like a nice trench coat, like with like plaid on it, like like I could
With
have
what
been
on it?
styling. It was like a trench coat, but like plaid, like
Oh,
it's like
plaid. Oh,
white
okay.
and black. Yeah,
I thought you said
and
blood.
no, not blood. Um, I could wear that, but it just felt like I could. First of all, it was getting hotter that
Hmm.
day. Second, it was just like it's like there's no need to flex like that.
Yeah.
Not like that in Little Tokyo. If it was Pasadena, that's another story.
Oh, in Pasadena, you do that?
Yeah, oof. Or South Pass. I go with my trench coat with my ring. It's like styling. Anyways, man, enough about me, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Enough about me, brother.
That Rona ain't
Um,
real, brother.
that Roni ain't real. You better take that bleach for that Rona, man.
Oh no, man. Not the
Nah, don't do
bleach.
that. Not don't do that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Man, it's crazy how quick things have gone this past year, you know? Um you
Yeah.
talking about growth and what you were doing to, you know, catch up to yourself, you know, and to a more positive version of yourself and everything. What do you
Hmm.
think still has to be done for this new year?
I hate to say it, but I love to say it. I need to exercise, bro.
Oh yeah.
And it's not about like fighting my demons, exercising my demons and gym or whatever. That's not what it's about anymore. That
Hmm.
used to be it. Now it's just like to be healthy for myself, I need to work out. I need to eat right.
Hmm.
I need to meditate. I need to drink water. I need to go out. These are things
Gotta
that
sleep.
gotta sleep, gotta stay on top of these things. Gotta keep my house clean. Gotta keep these things in check before they all get unchecked. You feel me? And then
Yeah.
everything tumbles down. But there's certainly like a foundation that I'm trying to build, um, like a certain system that I'm trying to build. Like wake up, brush your teeth, drink water immediately as you wake up, brush your teeth, drink water.
Hmm.
You know, like before it'd be like just brush your teeth, don't drink water, whatever. No, I need to brush my teeth and drink water.
Yeah.
In that specific order, it needs to be done because in that way I'll get it done. Personally, I'll get it done. So it's like, yeah, okay. Um, so that's just one example of the many things, the many systems that I'm trying to implement in my life. It needs to be system, a system that's simple but effective. You feel me?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the brushing your teeth thing, because I brought up to a coworker of mine recently about the there you go with the water. There you drink you little guppy fish. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the side.
I brought up to my friend Harrison. I asked, when you wake up, like, of the five senses you have, like, what's the first one you feel? You notice at least. And I think he brought up taste because of that feeling of I need to brush my teeth, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
you know that moment, like when you wake up and your teeth aren't, you know what I mean, and it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
It feels
wrong.
weird. It just sounds gross. It smells gross. It tastes gross.
Oh my God, everything about it. It's like crusty. It's not that nice gloss. It's that slime.
The slime, yeah. Ah. Yeah, man. Um,
So where does the
yeah.
discipline, where do you implement the discipline for this change, this productive change to happen?
Ooh, asking the real questions here. All right.
That's right. You're
I'm
drinking
glad.
more
I'm
water.
glad you're asking these questions.
I
I'm
well,
glad
I
you're
gotta
asking these
I
questions.
gotta refill my water.
Well,
Sick of my drink.
I remember seeing a TikTok where it was like, I wake up and I drink water. I wake up and I drink water. I wake up and I drink water. And one of I had a friend who was like, yeah, like every time you wake up, make your bed. If you go back to sleep in it, just unmake it and make it back again when you wake up again.
Yeah.
Cause I nap throughout the day because sometimes I don't have shit to do. Like if I'm just off work or whatever, I'll just be napping. Um, so I think discipline is is the hardest thing when your mind is not prepared for the tasks that you want to do or that you have to do. And that's precisely when you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So like this doesn't have anything to do with my daily routine or whatever or what with my goals, but when I was working at Target, um there was days where I was just like, oh, I don't want to do more batches, bro. I don't want to do more batches. I want to go home and sleep, man. Just leave me be. And and yeah, I I mean I pulled through, but in that feeling, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
You're not always gonna feel 100%, 90%, 80%. Sometimes you might even feel like 30%, dude. But you kind of still have to push through. You kind of still have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like the discipline that like during the World Cup. Did you see the World Cup?
With Messi and everything.
Yeah,
And I didn't. I
yeah.
heard everyone else. We talked a little bit about it, but I heard in the other room, my mom was watching the game,
Oh yeah,
people posting about the game, all sorts of fan
yeah,
art. I see like people making fan art of Messi and everything.
yeah.
Uh, we talked about it, you know.
I remember that now. So before Japan got eliminated,
Mhm.
Japanese fans would go to the stadium, like the stadium that we're at. They would go around and clean the stadium. They had no obligation to do that, but they cleaned the stadium. They picked up the trash. They did
The
everything.
fans
They
would do
cleaned it
this.
up. The fans would do this, and the team would do this. The team would clean up the locker room that they were in. They wouldn't leave a bunch of mess. They would. They actually. They actually just. There's a picture of what they did. They folded the clean shit. They also folded the dirty things
Hmm.
and the dirty laundry. Put it in the basket. Just cleaned the whole locker room, and left some sushi or whatever it was that they left for the staff that went to clean up after them. And it's just that's such a nice gesture. First of all, like
Hmm.
that's beautiful. I wish everyone thought like that, including myself. Um, Second of all, it takes discipline to do that. To do the things that you don't have to do, but the things that you should do.
Hmm.
The things that you might want to do, or the things that maybe your culture kind of obligates you to do it. Like I don't know much about Japanese culture. I'm not pretending I do.
Right.
Um, but I do know that someone who does this is a very decent person.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Is it?
that's pretty remarkable. It's those types of stories you like to hear about, you know, more
Yeah.
prim and proper um actions that
Mm-hmm.
happen with, and it's usually with like foreign cultures, you know. The
Yeah.
Japanese are in many ways more advanced socially than us. In other ways,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
we that's a whole other podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The you know the Japanese culture and everything. But I didn't know
Yeah.
that. So the Japanese team did that. And the fans did
Yeah.
that.
The Japanese did that. And the Japanese team did that, and the fans cleaned up after the stadium. You know what was crazy? I think they were fans at a stadium that their team did not play at,
Mm,
and they
wow.
still cleaned the fucking stadium.
Wow.
That shows everything to me. That tells me everything I need to know about the person that did that, and it tells me a lot about the country they're from, the culture in their country. Because it wasn't just one person. It wasn't just one person doing that. It was
Hmm.
like all the Japanese fans,
Yeah.
the Japanese team was doing that too.
It's a collective of people.
It's a collective mindset.
Hmm.
So it's like someone said that like it just comes to show like because the Japanese team was tired, and they still did this after a full 90-minute game, after a full match. They still had the discipline, and this is where I'm going with discipline. They still had the discipline to clean up after themselves and even leave a snack or treat for the staff that were supposed to clean for them. That's what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
That's the type of discipline I'm looking for in myself, at least.
Yeah.
It's like there's many times where I come home after playing soccer or football and I just feel like shit, bro. I just want to sleep.
Hmm.
But I know if I sleep, without showering, that's gonna be nasty. First of all,
No.
uh, yeah, no, it's gonna be nasty. But there's times where I was just so tired that I just slept on the floor because I didn't want to get my mattress dirty. Like
Man.
not to sound nasty or anything, but like I was so tired after a match. So I'm trying to put that discipline into my life where it's like you come home, you shower, you get dressed, you're good. And I've done that. I've started to do that. Don't get me wrong, that happened like once or twice.
Yeah.
The sleeping on the floor thing. But but yeah, like it comes in every part of your life, bro. In every part of your life, you have to have discipline. In relationships and friendships, in personal life, in your quiet, intimate life, like your like it all it eventually it shows, you know?
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
shows to people that you have a disciplined lifestyle, that you live disciplined. And I'm not trying to be like the get fit bros or whatever the fuck. Fuck that. I'm talking about having this mindset, this this like how can I implement this, I guess, Japanese mindset into my life? You feel me?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is pretty universal,
Yeah.
regarding just especially when you brought up the relationships, in general, not just like romantic, but friendships, family and
Hmm.
everything. This is something that I certainly am trying my best to get better at. Last year, I think it's the least amount of time that you and I have like really hung out because of, you
Yeah.
know, all sorts of things regarding,
Um,
work, school, maybe some personal drama. And I feel like,
hmm.
especially on my end, I started to notice that I wasn't as I don't think I was as present as I could have been or should have been in our
Hmm.
friendship, and I think that's what, got us brought us some distance, you know,
Yeah.
and that's not something I'm happy about. I'm glad that we're talking now, and everything's
Yeah.
getting better. But it's definitely
Yeah.
something with this new year. You just want to make sure everything's a bit better, and you don't want to leave people hanging. And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I just hope that things get better for us both in those regards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Same. I mean, in our friendship, I mean, there like in all friendships, there can be highs, lows, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, I noticed your distance, and I just kind of, I kind of knew what was going on. Like, I remember what happened. I'm not going into that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um, but I was just like, damn, man, like I can only be there for someone that wants to be there.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And I was like, like I feel bad for putting my distance,
Mm-hmm.
but it's 50-50, man?
It is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. We're talking again.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, it's not like the end of a friendship or the end of
No.
whatever. No. There's always things that could be talked about, and at the end of the day, talking about things either makes it better, resolves the issue, or just eliminates it forever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either gonna continue it or end it,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad it's the former rather than the latter,
Hmm.
in this situation,
Yeah.
because I always love talking to you and everything, and I think And I think not that I want to use the pandemic as like a scapegoat, but I think that is kind of that shapes a lot of how we look at relationships in general because so much of our
Hmm.
past couple years was not present for everybody. You know what I mean? Everyone
Yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty separated, and
Hmm.
this was definitely maybe a remnant of that. But
Hmm.
again, it was yeah. I'm not here to make excuses. It's time to move on from everything. But you know,
Yeah, man.
I think my moral of this, I guess, would be you got to understand the way you treat yourself is how it like people are going to get the remnants of that, you know, especially
Hmm.
people
Yeah,
who are in your life that you care about and everything, you know, people are going to
yeah,
be affected by that.
yeah. Is very true. Even outside of friendship, the way I treat myself has definitely influenced how I treat other people.
Hmm.
Um, I treated like how I treat my family sometimes. Like it's it's not that I like yell at them. Or, I don't yell at my family, but it's just like, oh, do you like keep the house clean? If you don't keep the house clean,
Yeah.
then like what are you doing? That's what they tell me, and I'm just like, damn, I'm probably not treating myself well enough to treat the house with respect and clean it.
Yeah.
That's how they view it. That's how I'm starting to view it. Like you, them things gotta get done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's true.
and that's where discipline comes into.
Yeah. I mean, excuse me. Oh, man. Man, it's crazy, man. it's, it's
Yeah.
crazy. One thing I wanted to ask as we go into this
Yeah.
new year, um, because you're obviously you have the best takes when it comes to New Year's.
Ah, no way. The
um,
past comes to haunt me.
you know, let's be the Nostradamus right now. What is the
Alright.
um, what is the spiritual key to 2023 for you?
Spiritual key.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be discipline
Discipline.
because even in spirituality, you need discipline.
Yeah.
You need to balance your energies, your thoughts. You need to know what you're feeding your mind and your soul, who you're feeding your mind and your soul, like not in a cannibalistic way, but like
Tastes
but
like
like
chicken.
the the people you surround yourself with definitely have an impact on how you see yourself, how you treat yourself, how how if you're in a toxic relationship or you toxic friendship, where they treat you like shit, they yell at you or whatever, that's gonna make you feel like shit. So you gotta have discipline and saying like, no, I don't want that for me. I'm not in that situation,
Yeah.
thankfully, but definitely discipline is gonna be key for 2023, at least for myself. Spiritually, like Buddhist monks, they clean their fucking temple. They don't got maids, bro. They clean their temple.
Yeah.
You see them booming, mopping. Like they're not just sitting on their butts meditating, bro. They're meditating while they're cleaning,
Hmm.
which is actually insane. Like life hack right there. Just meditate while you do
Yeah.
things, bro.
That's true.
And that takes discipline too. That takes discipline.
Hmm.
So there's this book I've been reading. It's called the Gift of Mindfulness or something. Mindfulness. Uh, it's a purple book. The Miracle of Mindfulness.
Okay.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a really good book. I recommend you read that book, to be honest with you. Uh, it's a really good book. It's by
Maybe there's an
I'm not
audiobook.
yeah, I don't want to butcher the name, so I'm not gonna say it. But he's tired or Vietnamese, and I'll send you what it looks like
Oh, thank you.
so you can look at it. Yeah, but yeah, he goes into detail like, as you walk, you meditate. As you wash the dishes, you're mindful of what you're doing to the dish. As you scrub the dish, the things fall out. You clean the dish. It's mindfulness that you're practicing.
Yeah.
And as you walk, you are mindful of the way your feet are hitting the ground. It's really like it's insane, bro, how much mindfulness can play in your life. Um, yeah, so that is a book I'm gonna recommend to you. That is a book
Okay.
I recommend to myself. Um, and to anybody wanting to like be mindful this
Mhm.
year and just have discipline and stuff, I will recommend that book.
It's time to be chill.
It's time to be mentally present in our
Hmm.
daily task.
Man,
Yes, sir.
I think that's a good place to end it off because we're running out of time. But before we,
Yep.
wrap it up and everything, I first want to say, thank you for being the first of the year, helping me out, getting back into the podcasting, even under COVID's duress. Um, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
this actually did help and make me very peaceful and make me feel a lot better. I'm on the uptake right now,
That's good.
when it comes to the
Hell yeah.
COVID.
Good.
So we're gonna be on
That's
our.
good,
I
man.
was actually went on a walk today because I needed to get a little fresh air. So
Hey,
this was a big help, David. Thank you so much for helping me
I'm
out
glad.
with this. Um, I'm
Of
excited
course,
to
bro.
listen to this one. I'm gonna add some
Yeah.
Zen some Zen ambiance to it.
No man. Oh yeah, yeah. I listen to it, man. Let me know what you think, and yeah, man. It's always good talking to you, Julius.
David, we'll see each other
And
soon. We'll get some coffee.
yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll see each other soon, and I wish you the best this year. Take care of yourself,
Hmm.
and take care of your mom. Say hi to your mom for me,
I will.
and yeah,
I'll have you over soon, David. We're gonna take some pictures. We'll do a little
yes,
photo shoot
sir.
of my friend
Yes,
Miles,
sir.
and it will be an
Oh yeah.
exploitive photo shoot in many different
Oh,
ways.
okay.
It will not be
Okay.
Zen. It will be the opposite of Zen.
Oh, it'll be capitalistic in nature.
Yeah, we will. Everyone will be paid for the shoot, except for Miles. That's as capitalist as it gets.
Sounds about right.
All right, David. Is there any last words you have for the podcast? For me, for anything?
Um, just happy New Year, everybody. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, y'all, and stay peaceful. Stay mindful. Stay
Awesome.
present.
I like that. All right, David. I'm gonna stop recording now. Have a good one. Stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.